It's my feel-good breakfast show.
The best part about running a marathon is carbo loading. We all love our carbs, right? Well, I certainly do. However, there's one thing I've never ever done. That's make pasta. I've always thought it was too daunting. Apparently, it's very, very simple. And Zola and Graeme are about to show us how simple it really is. Brighten up your home with Handy Andy. Handy Andy, always a beautiful ending.
Homemade pasta, a great skill to have under your belt. Of course, with the outcome being not just a sense of pride and accomplishment, but a scrumptious meal with some added bragging rights, all very impressive. And Handy Andy Ultra and Sunlight dishwashing liquids brighten your home campaign is here to show us the ropes, together with the lovely Zola, here to demystify what is, for me, quite a mysterious process. It's a bit daunting, I won't lie, making your own pasta, but we are dabbling with different ingredients here using potato. This can be quite a scary thing.
Well, you know, normal pasta is a bit daunting just because there's a lot of process involved.
Yeah.
But gnocchi itself is actually the simpler version of pasta. And as you said, it is a potato pasta, but it is impressive. So if you make this, your friends will think that you've slaved away for hours trying to make pasta, but actually gnocchi is relatively simple. So
with me, it still might be hours of slaving away. So, okay, well, the challenge accepted then. If it really is that simple, take us through what we need here. Obviously, starting with our hero here,
absolutely.
the potato.
Okay, so because it is a potato pasta, you obviously start with potatoes. And we don't want to actually boil the potatoes and sort of water down the flavor. So what we do is we roast the potato. So all you do is you poke the potato a few times, okay? And then 200 or between 180 and 200 degrees in the oven. And then just bake the potato as it is until it's cooked through.
Okay. And we know this by the fact that it's got
it's tender, and if you cut it open, you can see, and can you see it's dry? The texture is dry. There's no water logged in there.
Creme fraiche, I'll chow it right now.
Exactly. And then all you do is you scoop it out and mash it, and it's best to actually mash the potato while it's hot.
How far do we have to go with our mashing here? What sort of consistency?
You want a smooth mash, so you'll see here. I mean, some people go through the trouble of actually passing it through a sieve, but if you just mash it with a fork, the potatoes are pretty tender, and
they're just going to break up.
So I've got some salt here that I'm going to mix into my dry ingredients, and then I'm going to add this to the potato. Okay, you can get your hands in there, but you can also do it with a spoon. And then we've got, for flavor, oopsie, we'll clean it up later, don't worry. I've got some Parmesan cheese that's already grated.
Oh, nice.
So we just mix this together.
What sort of flour have you used here? What dry ingredients?
So this is just cake flour, or you could actually use bread flour, but actually in South Africa, the gluten content between the two is so small that you can interchange them, so it's not a problem.
But cake flour is nice and light as well.
Yeah, but if you can find, you know, authentic pasta flour, then obviously that's the best bet. So then all you do is you add your egg yolk. So depending on which part of the country you're making it in, you might need an extra egg yolk, you might need a little less. So just tread gently.
Okay.
Okay. So then basically you just mix it until it actually forms a pasta consistency. So I'm going to actually tip it out.
All right. So this is taking us literally a few moments.
Literally.
Beautiful.
See how simple it is. Okay, let me clear a little bit here.
All right.
Okay. So get your hands in there and then just work the dough, because you can see. So you can see it's turning into a pasta dough now. It's not just...
Loving the smell of the Parmesan as well.
Yeah. And because you're working on your surface and the food is actually touching the surface, you have to make sure that you work on a clean surface.
All right, so here we end up with our end result, our beautiful dough.
Exactly.
Can I call it that?
You can, that's exactly what it is. So it's a pasta dough. So the more you work it, the more it'll come together, obviously. And then here's our gnocchi dough, okay? So now I'm going to take it out. I'm going to divide it into two, because, you know, you can't just stand there. We both
No, please. I'm dying to be put to work here.
Some flour. I'm going to divide it into two. And this is when we shape the gnocchi.
Okay.
Okay, so here's your bit.
Thank you.
So roll it into a little bit more flour. And then what you do is you roll it into a sausage. Okay. And it's fun. It's actually fun for the kids as well.
It is very cool. I was going to suggest this as a nice interactive way of cooking.
There's your weapon. There's the other weapon.
Thank
Dip it into some flour. And then, like we said, it's the Italian word for knuckle. So that sort of tells you the size of the gnocchi that you want. So then we cut it into this shape here. Just like this. So you cut it into this shape, and then because you put the gnocchi into a sauce afterwards, you want the sauce to sort of cling to something.
Yeah.
So we give it a little bit of ridges by dipping the fork into some flour, and then just rolling the gnocchi
look at you.
onto the fork. Yeah. So it just creates a bit of
Show me.
ridge. All you want is to make these ridges so that the sauce will stick to the ridges. Okay.
Cool.
And that's it. Then you with all pasta, you want to make sure you have a pot of boiling water.
And you've thrown in a little bit of salt there as well.
Salted water, enough salt so you can actually taste the salt in the water. Okay.
Right. Don't be shy. I've heard with pasta in the pot, don't be shy.
We're going to drop these in here, and you know that they're cooked when they float to the top.
Okay,
so can you see how they're sinking at first? And it doesn't take very long to actually boil them and for them to float. So I think
I suppose
we're going
bearing
to
in
need
mind, because we've cooked the potato already.
we
you're
have
dealing
cooked the
with
potato. We
cooked
just
product,
wanted them to float. So let's clean up. So you
Yeah.
do the dishes.
Okay.
I'll clean up this section.
I got you,
Okay.
got you.
You just put flour all over me.
I did. Unfortunately, I can't clean you up as well, but I have a feeling that this flour is going to be a bit of a tough one. All right, let's get in here.
Okay.
With the power of 100 lemons, Sunlight dishwashing liquid cuts right through the grease and makes sure that all your cutlery and crockery sparkle. So no need to worry with this one-pot wonder. And if you buy the pink labeled bottle this month, you can earn points and download free music too.
There we go. Well, that was easier than I anticipated.
Right, and here, look, I've cleaned the surface and now we're hygienically clean so we can move on.
Thank you. 99.9% of germs are done and dusted, and our gnocchi is rising.
Can you see? Our gnocchi's all floating, and we've got some pasta sauce here, so you can either make
nice.
yours at home, or you can just do a store-bought one and just put it into a pot. So you see, it's all fluffy and it's just beautiful.
My giant-sized gnocchi.
And how simple was it to make? So yeah, so all it takes is for the gnocchi to actually float, and then you know that it's cooked, okay?
And I like the fact you're adding it to the sauce
To
straight
the
up.
sauce, yeah, because you can't skimp on the
absorb
sauce.
And get,
So
yeah.
if you want to pass me the spoon and you pass the bowl, stir it into the sauce a little bit. We've got some fresh basil, because you know, tomato
That is a
sauce,
simple
gnocchi, and
pleasure,
basil.
hey? Yeah.
Look at that.
What I love about this, it's so
And a bit of
quintessentially Italian.
Parmesan cheese. So
hey?
you tear the basil, I'll grate the parmesan.
The rather large gnocchi that
Gnocchi.
I've created.
Look at that.
Just go one little.
Oh, I love your flair.
Hey? Nice.
Palm. How simple and easy was that? I think your friends and family would definitely be impressed.
It is very impressive. Now, knowing just how easy that really is to prepare, you can go through the step-by-step on your own. If you want the recipe sent directly to you, or at least a link to that recipe, SMS the keyword pasta to 33728. That's pasta to 33728, and you'll be sent a link. It's going to cost you R1.50, and of course, terms and conditions apply. But let's go through a little bit of a recap to see how we got to this work of art.
Pierce potatoes with a fork, then bake until flesh is tender. Cut in half, scoop out the flesh and mash. Mix in the flour, salt, parmesan and egg yolk. Roll dough into a narrow log, then cut into pieces. With a fork, gently press into the gnocchi to form little grooves. Bring salted water to the boil, add gnocchi, then cook until gnocchi floats. Serve with tomato sauce, basil and parmesan. For the full recipe, visit the Espresso Morning Show Facebook page or log on to expressoshow.com. You can also SMS the keyword pasta to 33728 to receive the shopping list on your phone. Click on the link provided to view the recipe. SMSs cost R1.50, no free SMSs, and T's and C's apply.
Ta-da! It really is as easy as that. That keyword again, pasta to 33728. And you could be cooking along with Chef
yes.
Zoe. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
An awesome and very impressive way, I think, of blowing the minds of visitors coming over to your house. This is really, really impressive. I love it. Before we get our Just Rewards and eat, I think we better do a bit of cleaning up because we've got another cooking session coming up. So let's get the handy ultra out again and get this place hygienically clean. Come.
Okay.
To work, to work.
Sunlight dishwashing liquid washes up to 2 times more plates than its closest competitor.